It's also maybe the quality of the reason of the correction, which matters. In a lot of the cases that you talked about, it wasn't this external bit. So, for example, if there were questions about what is happening in the mid-cap, small-cap space, or faith in Indian markets, like some of the earlier ones which were done, this is very, very external. So that's my only point. The comparison is great. But is it always the same? Doesn't the reason for the correction also matter and become one factor?
It is always different, right?
Yeah.
The reason will always be different.
Yeah.
By the way, the first corrective move happened in part also because the Russia-Ukraine conflict started and oil prices bounced higher, right?
Correct.
So, in fact, all the more reason, because if it's internal, you know that RBI moves or some other moves could change it. Here, none of that will help.
You can't control it.
You can't control it. It's almost unpredictable to know who is to say what will happen between Trump and Iran tomorrow. But can crude go to 150? Who knows?
But fundamentally you are safer than everyone else.
You are not right now. With oil at 120, you are actually not safe at all.
With oil, correct. But oil at 120 is unsustainable. It's not been at higher levels for a while because there's actually a supply glut in the world.
Yeah.
Right now,
But okay, these are both very important points. My only takeaway from this is what Neeraj was asking. The question is, should you deploy funds today? That's the most important question for me.
Let's get Parag Thakur and Kush Bohra
And also to
comment on that.
contextualize, when I asked you last week, both of you all said, if you have 100 units of cash, one of you all said 20, one of you all said 30. Right? So consider that has already happened. Somebody is listening to both of you all, they've done that. Now what do you do?
So basically my thing is very simple. You have to keep buying at a staggered level. You cannot predict the bottom. I am not that person who will buy after the 5% up, which Neeraj said. My nature is not that. That after 5% up move, after seeing the lower prices, I can buy. I have to buy when it is falling knife.
How would you know?
That is my nature.
How would you know when?
So
Is today looking like possibly the worst?
So for you to buy in a staggered manner, you have to have a very brave heart, right? First of all, because you know that tomorrow, as Neeraj rightly pointed out, tomorrow oil can go to 150 also in this kind of issues. But the question is how long it sustains there, how long this war sustains. Nobody knows, right? So, but I know for sure that ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank, just to take you by as a poster boy the examples, they are, if they fall by say 7% from here, okay, you are getting them at 10.5 PE. Okay, so according to me, they should logically trade at 13-14 PE. So there is a 30% upside intrinsically over next 18 months. Okay, so I don't want to miss that. Okay, ho gaya, that's ho jayega oil. Or thode der ke liye everybody will be in panic. But the time that also will pass over a period of time. Nobody, first of all, India is of course affected, China is affected, but nobody in this world will be happy with $150 oil. So something has to happen. Some resolution will come.
If we open 800 points down today, would you at some point deploy?
Yeah. I'll gradually deploy staggered manner. First of all, see oil sensitives, direct oil sensitives, like airlines, like OMCs, like paints, that we don't own in the portfolio at all. If at all, we have also protected our portfolio by buying Bhartis of the world or little bit of IT of the world. But private sector banks, I would say, and right now I have to qualify it private sector banks because PSU banks have a new problem of this farm loan waiver.
But just to complete that point, Parag Bhai, what you're seeming to suggest is things that could get fundamentally impacted in a bad way, and you're talking about crude sensitives, you wouldn't touch it with a barge pole even if the prices drop beyond a certain point.
So there I have FMCG, I have to admit it.
Sure.
And those will also, liver will also fall today, Pidilite will also fall today. Let us accept it, right?
Sure.
So there I'll do that staggered buying which I told you in private sector banks.
Just this qualifying point out here, that the nature of the gentleman who's talking about it right now has the ability to withstand a 20-25% downtick and not get phased by it. He remains unfazed because of that. If you are that kind of an investor, sure. But if you're not, then maybe wait for the trend to change. Just that call, because I think he started off his answer saying that I'm not that kind of an investor.
This is not a trade. You have to have a different kind of mindset, right? I'm not here to buy today and sell tomorrow. So if you are that kind of a person, you should not do this. You should you should buy only when the trend changes, as Neeraj just said.
Kush, are you in the buy today, sell tomorrow camp? And if for viewers who might be in that camp, what will you say?
Even if I were, the market is not giving you that opportunity. Is that I fall in the camp that Neeraj has mentioned. Even if you listen to my commentary every now and then, I always say this कि bottom predict मत करो. But एक बार बन गया ना, उसके बाद आप ऊपर आके buy कर सकते हो. And that might also be a false bottom, which is absolutely fine. But you have that first inkling, first indication that maybe the selling is over. So yes, by the nature of my study and analysis and skill, I do of course give views for a relatively shorter time frame than Parag bhai, correct? But even there, having traded for thousands of clients, having traded myself, I can tell you that I don't predict the bottom and I don't want to buy at the bottom. यहाँ से market चलेगा तो और 5-10% की rally आएगी, assuming the top as well, right? Assuming today's fall. मुझे 10% नहीं कमाना उसमें से, मुझे 5 ही कमाना है. और एक बार मेरा बॉटम फॉर्मेशन प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हो गया, फिर मैं उस अपवर्ड रैली के लिए खेल सकता हूं. सो आई फॉर श्योर फॉल इन द कैंप वेयर एक बार बॉटम बनने दो, बाउंस पे बाय करना.
You know, this is almost as much as discovering yourself and your personality.
Entirely.
rather than only trying to understand what's happening in the markets.
So every day is a learning.
Yeah, Tamanna, that is so rightly identified. Again, we'll come to markets in just a bit, but this is the crux of my learning in the markets, that each person has to understand who they are and how they are comfortable managing their money. It's ultimately that. I have seen people make hundreds of crores and then just lose it because they couldn't handle it.
Okay, what's the outlook for the Nifty Bank Nifty?
I think we are in that mixed emotions wala day today. Love, hate and indifference. You have to absolutely love what the Indian team has done, right? World number one, and for a reason, and we showed why. Hate obviously because the war and the humanitarian aspect of it and all the instigators, right? I mean that just comes very naturally. But indifference, if most of the investors, at least the retail ones, aren't there yet, they're getting very close to that point जहाँ पे अब मरे हुए को कितना मारोगे? अगर पोर्टफोलियो कल 20% डाउन था तो आज 25 होगा, probably 30 होगा, right? But the strategy that you had yesterday, a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago remains the same today as well, which is wait it out. Right? Now, surprisingly, on the technical front, up until Friday, the indicators were close to oversold territories, but not there yet. Right? Today, that might change, and then perhaps we can talk about some intermittent bounce and some rebound from oversold territories. Now, also, in the midst of this news flow, supports fall like 10 pins or 9, whichever you prefer, right? so yes, there is a possibility that we will obviously breach the 24,000 mark, given what GIFT Nifty is suggesting. We might not stay there for too long, but even if we do, the base gets stronger for the year-end rally, and that's why I remain constructive. To answer Alex's question, last week we said deploy 20 in that fall. In this fall, you deploy another 20. So that's how you keep deploying as the markets fall. Major concern, Bank Nifty, 4.5% down for the week, 2% down for the day on Friday. And the private and the PSU banks both seeing pressure. 200-day moving average won't stand a chance, 57,500. I think gaps at 55,500 and 56,900 could well be filled in this gap. Long-term view positive, but yeah, right now you just want to hold your horses before buying.
Yeah, from the lowest points, long-term view has to be upward. Beyond a point, there's nowhere else to go.